Well, we're back with a whole pile of controversy. I'm Jeremy here, and with me is Dylan.
Yep.
So this episode was going to be talking about the time travel in Star Wars. Which do we want to just say what we think of it right now? I know
Um,
Dylan's answer.
I have no I just know it's been a debate or something that's come up and in the canon. And all I know is like in Legends there was flow blocking, but that's not really time traveling. So
Yeah, that's the name of it. I couldn't remember what it was called for the life of me. Um, I don't care. I actually think it's kind of neat. It's something different they can go for. Will it be handled well? I don't know.
well,
A lot of
there was almost time traveling in the Legends, but Troy Denning got because the story goes, is according to how Troy Denning says it, is that at the time he was writing Legacy of the Force Invincible, he was already the one that was known as killing Anakin Solo, and he was tasked with killing um, Jason Solo, and he didn't want to be the guy that killed off two Solos. So he's like, okay, guys, what if he uses flow walking, right? To go back in time right before he's died. So he's out of the picture, but he's technically not dead. That way I'm not the guy that killed two Solos. And they said, like, no, he has to die. Screw. So he got lumped with that. But there was almost. But yeah, flow walking is not time travel.
there's talk of it in Tales,
Well, that's Tails. That's
but
Infinity.
that's continuity Tales deals with it kind of. And there's a time paradox. It's a Mace Windu story. Um, it's bad. It's a bad story, so I don't remember it that well. Um, but yeah, in the new canon should do their own thing. Um, my big thing is if there's time travel, that would explain why the Marvel comics are so garbage and just forget to mention that things happened in novels.
Mm-hmm.
Can I we just go on a rant here about the Marvel comics again?
You can because I haven't read them.
Um, the main Star Wars title, I genuinely don't understand how it makes sales. It's truly horrendous. Well, I know why it makes sales. I buy it. I buy the fucking thing each month. Actually, it double ships now. I buy it twice a month. And it's terrible. It's truly, truly terrible. But what's worse is all these one shots that are in the Marvel Star Wars. Um, we had the C3PO one where we learned how he got his red arm, which was a stupid story. But I can't believe I'm saying that's the best one shot we've had in Star Wars in the new canon. Um, DJ Most Wanted, it's the Benicio del Toro character. I still haven't finished reading the issue. It's been a month. It's truly trash.
Don't worry, I've been reading. Well, we get to this more in what we're reading, but I've been reading Knight Errant for like the last 3 months.
I know.
It's so
But
bad. It's not bad. It's just I have. It's not a bad. I'm entertained while I'm reading it. I'm not interested.
yeah. And then we get Battle of Crate. This one shot that ties into Last Jedi, where Leia says, I've never been to this planet, but in Leia, Princess of Alderaan, which happens a couple years prior, she had been to that planet. That's so stupid on so many levels. It's just lazy.
Oh, Tevia says hi, by the way.
Oh, hi, Tevia.
I think he's the only person. No, we have two watching. I think one of them's. I'm actually going to be a responsible podcaster and watch the chat.
Okay, that's cool. I forgot to put it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so Marvel comics are bad.
Marvel comics are terrible.
So-
minus the Darth Vader storyline, which that's actually starting to get bad.
So you've read both. What's better, the current Marvel Star Wars comics or like the 1970s, 1980s Marvel comics?
The 1970s. Granted, there's a lot of crap in there, but since I'm not done with either, and I've read about as far in both, like I'm on par with one another. Actually, I'm a little behind in the main stuff. There was a lot more creativity in the 70s and 80s. it didn't, play it safe. And they were kid friendly, but most comics were kid friendly back then. This, it plays it so safe, and this is the problem with all of the new canon. And this is probably another podcast in and of itself, where we get some people who read the new canon to like agree with me. But everything is played safe in the new canon, and it's really irritating. Yeah. But that's
Sorry,
that.
sorry. There's a helicopter that's flying over my apartment for some reason.
I can't hear it.
Okay, good.
Well, let's get into the controversies. Dylan will lead this.
So, an old one. We're not going to talk about this brief because it's kind of old news. But our old friend, Darth Crybaby, I believe was the name we gave him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have a new name for him. Well,
I call it the stabbing controversy. When we're pushing 2 years ago from this.
God,
I don't know if I was dating my girlfriend yet when this happened. When we got, mind you, I didn't make any of these jokes, believe it or not. This is one of those times where I was not involved. It was Dylan and Amelia.
Yep.
We're making stabbing jokes because of the stabbing meme that
Yep.
they're very obsessed with. And I just kind of sat back and laughed. But within a day or so, I get all these like bullshit on Twitter saying that I threatened to stab the people at Tashi Station. Not just that, Dylan and I were going to murder them.
Right.
Or something. It was something like, it was so long ago. And like I straight up was like, "Oh, can you give me a timestamp?" Because I knew we didn't say anything like that.
I actually watched the entire podcast again, and we mentioned it as like, yeah, we just have this joke where everything has to be turned into a stabby. And like that's all we say. We just make jokes mainly about each other. Like we didn't even mention him or anyone like at Lucasfilm. Like we wanted to stab them. It was just a joke that was going back and forth. And yeah,
but to this day, I'm blocked from all of their profiles.
See, that's why I have a new nickname for him, because we usually call everyone on this show. We have a Darth nickname. You know, we have Darth Grocer. We have
Darth Harasser.
Darth Harasser. Now he was Darth Crybaby, though you called him something else.
I call him Darth Crybaby Bitch. If you want to,
but I want
it as a dash.
But I think
baby and bitch.
But I think that's a little too long. I think we need to call him Darth Lego because he blocks.
Oh shit!
All right, that was my joke of the day. But anyway,
Dylan, he'll be here all week.
But anyway, he was back and at it with Matt's book, just giving it 1-star reviews and ticked off a whole lot of people's about
We're
that.
talking about the third C-Corp book.
Yeah,
Correct. They've
been taken down, so I screenshotted. There were like 4 of them when it first happened. I screenshotted them, so I have them, but they got eventually taken down because, Amazon, didn't actually buy the book. They were just putting 1-star reviews on it, which was ironic, given other things that were happening around the same time. But anyway, so that was that controversy. But that was ancient. That was pre The Last Jedi, I believe, when that happened.
We're still catching up. We're still catching up from our year hiatus.
It's only been approximately I have a
controversy. It's called Dylan and Matt Talk Shit About Me on Princes of the Universe. And I hear about it a month late.
Look, Matt started it.
I know he does. I know you only do it when you're provoked. You know what? That's the thing. Is I try to call Matt. I try to text Matt because I plan on going on vacation and visiting him. And you know what I get instead? I get a Princes of the Universe that opens up with Dylan and Matt just talking mad shit about me, and Brian just laughing at it.
Well,
that's
all I'm saying is, if you would just drink more coffee, these jokes wouldn't be made.
Oh, I do now, dude. I'm a caffeine fiend. I quit the booze. I don't need the caffeine. I got the fruit punch Rockstar IV into my veins, dude. But fuck you. And then this tag gets explicit on iTunes.
Right. And then oh wait, you're already demonetized because you don't have the 1,000 subscribers
God.
thing.
Do we want to talk about that?
Sure.
So fast. I think I mentioned this on Tuesday Treadmill Talks, which Tuesday Treadmill Talks hit 50, Dylan. I've done 50 of those fucking things.
So
50.
it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minutes of watch time, I think it is.
Yeah. Which the watch time, granted, my Red Harvest review just hit 3,000 views. So the watch time is close to where it needs to be for that. It's the fact that I have less than a third of the subscribers needed for that. Which, granted, my channel's been growing recently.
Well, that's what Patreon's for. Because let's be honest, you make like what, 2-3 cents every other millennium through Facebook not Facebook, through YouTube.
I might as well be making more. I make more money through Facebook than YouTube. Let's be honest. They have the Facebook Pay, you know.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Hey,
I thought about doing
2 cents is better than 1 cent.
Talked about this a while ago, about doing Patreon, but I just don't think I have it enough at this point. The channel's not big enough to make.
Hi, Jedi Acolyte. I'm reading chat, so if you want to say hi or have any thoughts.
Hi. Yeah, let me pull up the chat. God.
Also, another update. Recently, I found out that my router had some sort of issue where it was randomly cycling and like random turning off like on its own because of some bug in it. So I have a new router. Not only do I have a new router, but I actually have an extension for an Ethernet cable that allows a direct cable to go from my router to my laptop. So hopefully our sponsor, Comcast, actually gives us a nice, good stream. But if you don't know, we are sponsored by Comcast.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Thanks, Comcast.
So sponsored by, let's see, do I have something? Oh, I do. Hold on. We're also sponsored by Jack Daniels.
Like the like the thanks Obama meme? Can someone make us an image of that, but like with Comcast instead of?
Yeah, someone make that for us.
We need that. This is a thing that needs to happen. Anyway,
seriously.
So controversies. There was the one you brought up, which
So it might as well have been an IGN article because of how badly written it was. Like, I thought that first IGN was pushing buttons and trying to get my blood pressure to go up like they usually do when they talk about Star Wars. But someone blamed. Can I say her name on here?
Well, I mean, you can say her Twitter handle.
Her name, but
they say her name, but you can say her Twitter handle. If you are at all familiar with the greater community around the movement, you know exactly who this is. But
what is her Twitter handle? I don't remember.
I think the one she has two, but one she doesn't. One they don't know about, so I'm not going to say that one. But it's the Rebel Librarian is the one they coined.
Yeah. Well, they just blamed her for spoiler jihad, pretty much. Like, they brought that up again, which had nothing to do with our movement whatsoever.
Right. They brought up that, and they brought up the it all started with the Twitter controversy that a bunch of people had with someone from Lucasfilm who made a picture, and in the picture there was a calendar where Luke was crossed out, and people were making all kinds of conspiracy theories about it. And she made some comments as well on Twitter. I think there was 5 tweets in total where she talked about it. There was a bit of back and forth between the two of them. And apparently it's all been handled privately. They both apologized, and she actually sent her a letter, the person at Lucasfilm that she was talking about. I saw that image. But yeah, it was all fine and dandy. And then this guy who has a history of not being too friendly, he is I guess this the best way to describe this for those of you older listeners is he is like the Star Wars Actors Guild
Oh God.
77. Like that is
Swag 77.
he is the swag 77 of 2016 through 18.
But in all honesty, can we blame Swag 77? There was more that went on with that than I think most people know. But then again, that goes into speculation about a certain
Right.
Darth Grosser
Mhm.
that we can neither here nor there talk about. But seriously, it was just like, really? It wasn't even, it was like this stuff had been dealt with for what, like a month, and then this comes out.
Yeah, well, no, it was more recent. But the big thing is like again, the person who was tweeting it wasn't the only one that was tweeting it. She wasn't even the first one to tweet it. She was just commenting in the storm, and they picked her for some reason. I also find it funny, even going back to the Swag 77 controversy, how because she's an admin of the Alliance, one of the largest pages. How why is it that every single time they go after an admin, they either pick I'm not saying anything, but they've gone after Tim, they've gone after Tristan, and they've gone after her.
Was Tristan an admin?
He was at the time.
Oh,
And
God.
I'm not saying it, but they call us the sexists and the racists, and those are it just so happens that they just picked those three people in particular to go after.
Yeah. Remember when Darth Lego called you a Caucasian?
Oh yeah.
They called us two cisgen males or something. They called us some ridiculous crap.
Yep.
Just so they could get their PC social justice agenda.
Yep. That was funny.
It was, but
we did a whole podcast like just reacting to it where we just made fun of him the whole time. As we do.
I remember the next episode, I'm pretty sure I said that we weren't ever going to talk about this guy again.
Well, I mean, he came up.
Now we are.
He came up with another controversy, so
yeah.
Darth
Well, let's
Lego.
talk about the one you were bringing up that I had no idea was going on.
It isn't really a controversy. It's just something that happened. It technically happened yesterday, but there was a guy on Twitter who we've known from Facebook. He hasn't been particularly nice to the movement, who is making a fuss about why Twin Suns doesn't donate canon books.
Oh, God.
And like I found it, and they were all like, other Twin Suns people were talking about it, and I saw it like the next day, and I'm just like, well, I mean, you know this from experience because you read them both, but we choose paperbacks because they're cheap, and Star Wars Legends paperbacks are $7.99, whereas canon ones are $9.99.
Yeah, it's because of the different size, the physical size.
And that's another thing. They're bigger. So, when you're trying to roll into a hospital with 200 books, the size of the books matters.
It adds up. Yeah.
It adds up. Sense. I mean, I have, you can kind of see them over there. I have a stack of milk. You can't really see them. I have a stack of milk crates over there just to carry them all. I don't know if you could see it.
Yeah.
But I have a stack of milk crates because that's the best way to carry them. And honestly, because those Legends books are so smaller, I can fit more of them per milk crate. Then, and there's what, 12 or 13 canon novels out there right now. What would you say?
Like,
yeah. So
let's see. I own all of them now.
Well, how many? Okay, so there's 12 or 13, but how many of them are available in paperback?
A little over half.
A little over half. So we're talking 6 or 7. Yeah.
It takes about a year for them to print them in paperback.
Yeah, about a year, I would say. Will y'all be reading comics? Yes, we are, Nightwing. But anyway, it's another thing that we found out with our last two was that when we do this all through Amazon because it's the easiest way to get that number of books. But when we would set a book number to ship 30 of one book, we would have a shipping date of like a month. But if we dropped it down to like 5 to 7 in that range, it would be like 2 days because we have we use Amazon Prime, so we don't have to pay for shipping.
Mm.
And it's still just the shipping, no Prime. But again, it's did y'all? Yeah, we talked about it. Basically, we talked about the time travel thing. Basically, Jeremy said it was good, and I said I don't know because I don't know.
They should be doing more original things with the canon, and I think that the time travel is an interesting concept. Will they screw it up? That remains to be seen. I think this is actually happening in Rebels, and Rebels hasn't been isn't as terrible as Clone Wars.
Yep. But anyway, back to the Twin Sons thing. It's just by again, you have the more books we order of one type of book, the longer we have to wait. Don't know about the guy who has a problem with Twin Sons Legends books. If he is concerned about children, yeah, he can. That's actually funny. I'll get to that in a bit, but again, when we have 30, when we're getting 30 of one book, it takes forever for those books to get here. Where if we just buy a handful, like half a dozen, we can get them really quickly. So in that regard, it's good that with Legends, there's over 100 books for us to choose from, so that when we're getting 100 to 200 books, we can more easily just order a few of here, few of this, few of that to get them there faster. Whereas with the canon, you're saying there's only 6 paperbacks. That would take forever for those if we were, because we're just again buying the same book, and in that lowest quantities, it just shipping takes forever. So those are practical reasons why we don't do it. There's also other reasons which are kind of obvious, but in my opinion, he's not the kind of person that would accept those reasons. So we went with the practical ones. It's like, but anyway, it's funny you should mention that Jedi Acolyte. The whole Force for Change thing, because that's literally that was literally the only criticism of the Billboard project, was that we should have donated the money to charity. And we were thinking, like, looking back, like, we literally started a charity.
Was that Chuck Wendig?
That was Chuck Wendig, friend of the show, Chuck Wendig.
What a fuck ass.
See, I'm trying to be nice and polite to people, and he's
I'm sorry, I can't help but bring him up in every review I make now, because that's what people want. You know what? I bet you people.
To be fair, you actually had to suffer through the Aftermath trilogy, where I didn't.
I felt bad for Mark Thompson. You had to do those audiobooks. What the fuck? God, I try to be nice to people, but you know, Chuck Wendig's kind of been a pain in the ass to us. It didn't help that Matt made those videos, or that video, I should say.
Which one? He's made a lot of videos.
Well, let's talk about the dinner date.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god. So I was going, because I'm very behind on Matt's Expanded Universe, because I've been doing a lot of homework instead of watching his videos. I've been a responsible student. Oh no. But I discovered that Matt had a liked playlist, and it only had 12 videos. Now, man, mind you, I have a liked playlist. It's got like 2,000 videos. It's just whatever I like, and I like pretty much everything that I watch on YouTube, because I don't particularly go out to watch things I don't like. So I was watching this video, and it was this, I don't know, I think it was Matt told us about this like years ago.
Right.
This was like an ad or something, like a local ad he did.
So not to Kanye you, but Nightwing just said Chuck Wendig's books are the only terrible canon books in my opinion. The others are either great or just okay. Do you agree with that?
No, I just read Heir to the Jedi, and Heir to the Jedi is actually a little bit worse in certain ways than Aftermath.
Okay.
Most of the books are just okay. I will agree with that from what I've read. Mind you, the only 2 adult novels I haven't read are A New Dawn and Dark Disciples, which a lot of people like A New Dawn, so I'm looking forward to that. Dark Disciples is sort of a hit or miss. Let's see. I'm looking. Sorry. The Rogue One novelization was pretty good. Catalyst was pretty good. Tarkin I enjoyed. Thrawn was really good, but that's Timothy Zahn, so we kind of all expected that to be good. That's about it.
So anyway, back to the Matt thing. So
it's him on a date with someone, and I won't. It's just ridiculous. But I think the funny thing is that it's young Matt.
So I have the video. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
You all need to watch it.
It's amazing.
Matt's gonna be pissed, but he deserves it for the amount of shit talking he's done on Princess.
I am so sorry, Matt. But that's the video. What? No, I can't set it web addresses in the chat. No. Okay. Here. Okay. Don't panic.
Are you just gonna put it as a comment? Jesus Christ.
So since I can't put in the link, this is the title to the video. Search for that on YouTube. Just trust me on this.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's up there with his lip sync videos.
Okay, his lip sync videos are no joke. Like,
they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Just what you should do, everyone. All of you should, if you're watching this, are probably subscribed to Matt Wilkins. Just go into his videos and then click oldest to newest and just watch a good chunk of them.
His first 2 videos went viral. He has his first couple videos have hundreds of thousands of views on them.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous.
And those are from literally like it says 2006, 2007, I think. Well before any of this happened.
Yeah, I love Matt's school videos. They're just gems. There's diamonds in the rough. And we should just retitle this "Watch Matt's Videos."
Watch Matt's videos. It's literally
do another podcast, like a whole separate podcast where we review Matt's not Star Wars related videos or board game related.
It's so weird. He had the board games stuff for a while, but it was before the Star Wars buyout. It was board games and random stuff, and the random stuff is
oh my god. I mean, granted, there's some travel logs and stuff which are pretty fun. I find them fun because I know we've met a lot of the people that are in them. Like Dylan and I went and visited Matt a few years ago. Can you believe it's been a year and a half since that happened?
Yeah, because time travels.
Yeah, definitely. We flow walk.
Yeah,
with Waru. That's the title of this episode. Flow walk with
Waru. But flow walking had
time travel. Star Wars.
Flow walking had its limits. You could go back in time, but you couldn't really affect anything. You were basically it was basically like a DVR. You just went back in time and watched how things played out. Those of you who have read Legacy of the Force, am I wrong?
God, we just lost 2 viewers. 3 viewers.
We're down to 5. What are the 5 of you doing with your lives? Oh wait, you know what happened? They probably went off to search for that video.
They did. Oh my god! Yeah, we're down to 3. Okay, let's get back into I don't know. Is there any controversy stuff we want to talk about?
None that I can think of other than that.
No, I don't have anything. I kind of avoid it now.
Well,
that's why I haven't done a can rant in so long. That and the can rant we did with Matt was just the best can rant you could possibly do. And
when he came out of the shower,
and you just walked into the bathroom. God, that was beautiful. Just 10 out of 10. Anyway,
oh, wait, we got one of the viewers back. So how was the video, that one viewer who clicked off to watch it?
Dylan, I think we need to go into what we're reading. How's Knight Errant?
Freaking Jaina and Jag at the steakhouse in Legacy of the Force. Yeah. Knight Errant. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you about Knight Errant. Literally, it's so amazing. It's amazing how I can read a book and be so thoroughly entertained, but not give two shits about what's going on.
Okay, Nightwing. I do get distracted by Matt's soul patch too. It's luxurious. I have
It's
one
like-
too. It's just kind of blonde.
It's like I
very-
want to know what happens. I just have no motivation for reading what happens. I've been on the same book for 3 months, almost as bad as when Bill had 3 pages left of Kenobi's Blade to read for like 2 years. Remember that?
I like to not remember that because it pissed me off. The fucking children's
No, it
book.
was 6 pages. He kept saying, like, he was on 3 or 4 podcasts in a row. He's like, yeah, I'm still reading Kenobi's Blade. And after like 2, it's like, where are you? It's like, oh yeah, I've had the last 6 pages. Like, how have you not read the last 6 pages of Kenobi's
fucking
Blade?
children's book. It's not that difficult to finish, even if you don't like it. It's not that hard. Ugh. God, you're just bringing back all the anger I had towards Bill for that.
Because it's funny.
God, that pissed me off.
All these inside jokes. Literally, this entire podcast series. Matt needs to grow hair out and go Sizor.
Yeah, Matt and I need to have cornrows. Same with Dylan. We all need to have matching
No.
cornrows. That's what's got to happen. Yeah, Dylan. Can you
No.
picture Dylan with his toupee? It's just cornrows. Oh, Felix is joining us. Come here.
Oh yeah.
I have cats. Remember?
When this podcast started, you didn't have any of the current cats you own.
Yeah. No, actually, that's not true. I had Lacey.
had one.
It's
The
just
other-
Lacey doesn't like being in videos. So
Yeah, I think you had 2 others at the time, and they both passed away.
They were elderly and they both died. Yeah. And then I got 3 kittens. And they're spoiled brats.
Mhm.
But what I've been reading, well, I finished the Darth Bane trilogy. Just
Mhm.
filmed those reviews about 20 minutes before we started the podcast. I've been reading the Marvel comics. We already talked about that. But I've been reading the Clone Wars by Karen Travis and the Mandalorian Armor by K.W. Jeter and the Paradise Snare by A.C. Crispin.
Did you get the? Oh, you didn't. Never mind. I know you didn't because you already have the hardcovers.
Of what?
The
Oh, the
Barnes
leather
no,
bound? No, I'm super pissed.
you don't have the leather bound.
I don't have the leather bound. I have a really beat up 3-in-1 sci-fi book club. Come over here, cat.
The
I
old
was
expanding universe
it's
Facebook
really
page. I don't know what you're
beaten up.
talking about, Nightwing.
I paid $70 for it because that one's really hard to find. And I have to read it so gingerly to keep it together.
Oh, I know what we can do.
What?
So I made this game for the Twin Sons podcast like 2 months ago, but
Oh yeah, you do another podcast. I forgot besides one with Matt that you talk shit about me on.
I'm not on that podcast a lot. He just
I'm on
every
there
now-
less. I'm on
He
there
just-
less than you.
He just
Don't
every
you
now
say,
and then.
oh, I'm not on that podcast ever.
I've been on like
Dylan.
3 or 4 of them.
I think we get more viewers when we just start fighting with one another. I think we just get more viewers.
But anyway, fun game I made. The EU Price is Right. So actually, I think you'd be a good contestant for this.
Oh God.
So because there's like no one watching this, I'll probably use this again for the Twin Sons because none of you are. Oh, where is it? Where did I put this thing? Oh no. Hold on. Let me find my. Yep, here it is. Okay. So I wanted to make a little game about expanded universe things based on their current market price right now, what they're going for, and I'll give like it's like either if it's an Amazon or like an eBay price. And since you are a collector and a connoisseur, I think you would actually be pretty good at this.
Yeah. God.
And this is just to help this is just to people, if you have any of these things, just to know what your collection is worth. So first off, easy one. Black Series Darth Revan 6-inch figure from 2016. The MSRP on that is $19.99. Jeremy, if you wanted to get a Black Series Darth Revan 6-inch figure on the secondary market, what would you be spending?
About 40 if you want an inbox.
You are way off. $80.
Well, that's what it was when I bought mine.
$80 on eBay right now.
Shit. I actually got a deal.
Though that was before that price was before when that one place announced that they had a whole bunch in stock. So it may have gone down because they got flooded. The market got flooded a while ago, but still at one point it was $80. Okay, next one. Lego set 8087, the TIE Defender from 2010. 304 pieces, includes one Stormtrooper and one TIE Fighter pilot. The MSRP on that is $49.99.
I don't have a fucking clue.
And
I'm
it's
not a
in
Lego.
box.
It's what?
It's in box.
That's probably 100 something.
You're pretty close. $115 on eBay.
Okay.
Next one. This should be your jam. Star Wars Omnibuy Tales of the Jedi Volume 1 from 2007. MSRP unbelievably $24.99.
God, those I haven't looked at those in ages, but it averaged when I was looking and collecting the Dark Horse stuff, averaged around $80 to $110.
It has gone up in price. On Abe Books, their current listing is $142.09.
Yeah, because Tales of the Jedi still hasn't been reprinted in the Epic collections.
Now, how much for Volume 2?
Probably around the same.
This is going to... I don't think it'll surprise you because Volume 2 is, let's be honest, the better one because it has redemption and all of that.
Yeah,
And
it's more of the
doesn't have the Sith Wars in it, which was... I mean, why did they even do that? But it runs for $184.33 again on Abe Books.
Yeah. Have you seen the Legacy hardcovers?
Do I have those? I do not.
Those are like averaging 100 a piece.
Interesting.
Because they were not printed in as much of a high rate. Like, you know how well, you know the Dark Horse hardcovers and how weirdly priced they are. Like you got
yeah.
These ones are these are like your top tier expensive now, or your Legacy. But I'm interrupting your game, so
no, that's fine. I'm more things to look up for later if we ever do this again. Number 5 is another Lego one. It's the last Lego one. The Lego Darth Revan minifigure Polybag from 2014. This one doesn't have an MSRP, but it was originally available on May the 4th if you spent $75 or more on Star Wars products at a Lego store or on the websites. What is that going for?
God, that's going to be over $100. Am I off?
Over 100? Yeah, you're off. It's actually only $54.37. That is the average on Bricklink. Bricklink is a really good secondary Lego. It's like the secondary Lego vendor. So there's a whole bunch of listings. That's the average listing price.
Okay.
So books, your big one.
Okay.
Splinter of the Mind's Eye hardcover, first edition from 1978. What is that going for these days?
Well, what quality are we looking at?
Let me check the link. Collectible, good.
Probably around $50. And you'll probably tell me the answer, and I'll tell you what I got mine at because I got mine not too long ago.
It's $85.
Okay. So I got it in the original Star Wars novelization, both in hardcover. Granted, the original Star Wars novelization I have is very beaten up, but I wanted it so I could say I could have that because that one averages around like $500 now. I got them both for $20.
Wow.
I bid sniped. It was a good deal.
You know what? Because Jedi Acolyte mentioned it and I have it on my list. It's not next to my list, but it's down there. I'll go ahead and do this. What is the Crimson Empire Saga hardcover going for?
Fuck, I just saw this one. 50 to 80.
You're actually right on the money. It's $79.98 on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Star Wars Legacy Collection BD57 Kakruk action figure with BGJ38 droid in box from 2009. So the 3.75 basically Kakruk action figure.
Oh yeah, the 2 packs.
Yeah. What is that going for?
Was that going for probably like 40?
229.99.
Those things are fucking terrible action figures. They're awful.
But it's literally the only time Kakruk has ever been made an action figure.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he had one. Yeah.
No, that was it.
That's sad. That's like the same time the only time we had a Cade Skywalker action figure too.
Yeah, it was
It's terrible.
Yeah, Hasbro needs to get on this.
The only ones that were good were the Marvel Star Wars ones.
Hi, Papa Wedge.
I think I have Star Wars 81 through there, which came with a Boba Fett and a droid, and those were pretty cool.
Jedi Acolyte, this is from I think about 2 weeks ago when I made this list. So it may have
that's
gone up.
why you were asking about things that were expensive in our chat.
Yep. All right, so next one. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire N64 cartridge.
I mean, I bought mine at my work for like 50 cents. Are we talking in box or just the cartridge?
Hold on, let me see. Let me click the link. It's an eBay link. It looks like just the cartridge.
I don't know, like 20.
Very good condition. Yep, exactly. $20 plus $2.66 shipping.
Yeah, no, they're not in box. The Shadows of the Empire, they were so plentiful. It's not very hard to find them. Granted, I don't know if my cart works because I don't have an N64, but I shot
the only way
Shadows of the Empire and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, and I picked them up.
Nightwing, that's a good question for Matt, because if anyone knows which random things have short stories, there's probably a short story that's attached to a milk carton that you can only get in like this one grocery store in Ireland that sold them for like 2 hours, and Matt probably has it.
Yeah, I mean, Tales of the Pod Racers comes to mind.
And that's a good point, Jedi Acolyte. If you want more figures, there's currently and I actually think it's the end of the week. But Hasbro all week was doing a thing on Instagram where they were asking like people what they wanted. So check Hasbro's Instagram for more on that. All right. I think I had a couple more. Excuse me. Crimson Empire Saga, already did that one. Okay. The Young Jedi Knights complete series in paperback. So like a lot of collection of all 14 books in paperback.
Okay, you're not talking about the hardcovers.
Not the hardcover. I couldn't find a complete set of the hardcovers.
Because I bought the only complete set I've ever seen on eBay of the hardcovers.
Yeah, the closest I found one that had the first two story arcs. Those 2 books hardcovers.
Okay. Probably around $110.
Bid off $64.11.
Okay, they've gone down.
shipping.
Because remember, Kevin J. Anderson didn't even have a complete set.
Well, he did. Someone gave him first editions of complete set, first editions in mint condition, and he and his wife signed them. And he was trying to get.
That's what it was. Sorry, I forgot.
Dark Snowy, that's really good if you got him for a cheap price. All right, next and final one.
Well, let me just say, I got my hardcover set for around $40, and that was best offer. They were going for 75 for all three, and we just agreed on
All
around
right.
40.
This is the last one. So this is from 1999, and that is Brian Borg's very own copy of The Queen's Gambit. What is Brian Borg's copy of The Queen's Gambit worth?
Over $200.
Nope, it's not for sale. That was going to be a joke because Brian was going to play, and I'm like, "How much is your copy worth?" Like a real talk.
I thought he got 2 copies.
No, he just has the one.
God. We're all banned from his house because he's worried we're gonna take his copy of Queen's Gambit.
We'll get $350. By the way, Matt, since you're on here, and I'm
Matt,
taking Brian's copy of this one.
Answer my calls.
Matt, get on Skype after this.
Man, get on Skype. We need to talk.
Anyway, so going back to the video, I'll put the link. I'll put the title because I can put links. But go ahead and watch this video when you have the chance. Trust me, it's 100% worth it.
Also, I have a few things you should add to your game.
Okay.
Number 1, the Lando Calrissian hardcovers. Those, not the Han Solo, Brian Daly books necessarily, but the Lando books.
The Lando books?
Yes, the Lando hardcovers.
Not the trilogy.
Not the trilogy, because the 3rd book never got released in hardcover. Also, Shadow Games. That one's fascinating. Stealth and Gambit, the Clone Wars novels.
In hardcover, I'm guessing?
In hardcover. Wild Space and No Prisoners, which are also Clone Wars novels in hardcover.
So when I was looking this up, apparently the wait, you guys do a podcast? Yeah, I know, right? Apparently from the 2015, there's an alternate cover of the Star Wars Darth Vader issue 1, where it's basically him like force choking Jackson. That's apparently worth $5,000, and that's because
that was a rare one.
That's because there were only like 12 of them made, and the only way to get them was you had to pre-order 3,000 copies.
Yes, they were comic shop exclusives.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So that's only the second. The original Star Wars issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you have the first editions, are each worth around $3,000 each.
What is it? One of the Empire Strikes Back issues is worth a lot of money. It's the first appearance of Boba Fett and Yoda.
And the most expensive novel is a first edition of the original Star Wars A New Hope novelization.
That's debatable, in my opinion, because Shadow Games is super hard to find.
Well, that's most expensive, not hardest to find.
Shadow Games runs an average of $150.
Oh, the prices I was seeing was like in the 2,000 range for the
Okay, yeah, you're talking like really high end.
Yeah, quality. That's the highest. That's like mint condition, right off the printing press, still warm. The ink hasn't dried yet.
Let's see. Well, the thing is, with a lot of these hardcovers, I'm sorry, everyone. I kind of blame myself to a degree, but I drove up the prices of a lot of the EU hardcovers from collecting and doing videos about them.
Is that like how everyone universally hated Red Harvest as soon as you and Matt did a review of it at like the same exact time?
Oh yeah, that was my bad. I should have waited. But hey, it's my most watched video on this channel. On my other channel, exposing smuts, takes the cake at like 50,000 views.
So we've only been going for 50 minutes. Do we have any? Oh, questions. Do we have questions from the last one?
Don't really. I think we have one.
We have one. Okay. Is it a 27-parter by Dark Snovia?
No, it is not. Unless he just suddenly commented one. He is the Darth Riddler after all.
The Darth Riddler. Yeah, in case you guys missed it, we renamed Darth Crybaby because Darth Crybaby is too long, to Darth Lego because he blocks.
He does definitely block. Jesus.
But we still have Darth Grosser and Darth Harasser and Darth Riddler. Thank you for reminding me of Darth Riddler.
I just popped in my head. Well, the fucking...
Have you talked to Darth Grosser recently?
No. He liked a picture of me and my girlfriend, and it really just pissed me off. Like, I forgot he existed. Like, it's super, like, what the fuck? I mean, granted, like, it makes sense that people I don't like pictures of my animals and stuff, because my animals are pretty cute. But when it's pictures of me and you like them, it's just like, what are you fucking doing? Get out of here. Now he's going to be all butthurt again. I don't know. It's not loading, so I'm just going to say we don't have questions.
We don't have questions. No, we have questions. Let me find these questions.
Well, fucking you're the one with the good internet now, not me.
A shout out to Comcast for sponsoring this podcast as always. Great service, great customer service. All 2 hours of good customer service you get.
To answer your question, Matt, Dylan would hook up with Waru. That's what's gonna happen, dude.
It was 21 the return, right?
We will flow walk with Waru.
We will flow walk with Waru. Why does this thing only have 3 likes? Go to Star Wars Legends 21 the return and like it, every single one of you. Anyway, since you guys did a podcast suddenly, I have time for only one question. This is from Dark Snovia. This is from 8 minutes ago. This is literally from 8 minutes ago. Dark Snovia.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you'd do this to us. But first, I want to answer Matt's question before we spend another hour on Dark Snovia's question. Matt's question is, what character from the EU would you like to see get their own book? In my opinion, I think Darth Zana should get her own book, just as a pseudo sequel to Dynasty of Evil.
Okay, so Dark Snovia asked, almost done with Legacy of the Force, and I have one issue with the problem with Karen Travis shoehorning the Mandos. This is more towards Dylan because I've read it and you haven't. Do you think the story, the Mandos being shoehorned in the story was necessary or not? Yes and no. So there's one part where it really showed how unnecessary and shoehorned in they were, and that was at the end of Legacy of the Force Revelations. I think that was the second to last one. Yeah, Revelation. And basically, if you're not familiar with the book, if you're not familiar with the series, I'm sorry, spoilers, but it's a kind of a big plot point. Jason kills off an extremely big character that's important to everyone, but an exception, Ben and Luke. And Ben, this is like halfway through the series. So Ben spends around 2 to 3 books uncovering what happened to this, I'll just say it, to Mara Jade, because she died. If you haven't read the book, it's been out for like over 10 years now. I don't know what you're doing with your life. Anyway. And there's a really, at the end of Revelations, he finally has all the evidence, and he like holocoms to Jaina, and like he gets Han and Leia in there, he gets Luke and pretty much everyone in the family, and he makes his presentation that yes, in fact, it was 100% with a doubt Jason that did it. Jason is too far gone, and we have to stop him no matter what. And it's a very sobering moment. It's like it's the last straw moment where everyone realized that the only way that we're going to stop him is to kill him. And that would have been the perfect ending to the second to last book and go into Legacy of the Force, Invincible, fresh as the plot is we got to kill Jason any way possible. It would have been the perfect sending and end off. But no, because right after that, we get 30 minutes of some Mandalorian bullshit and what they're dealing with. And I mean, it was okay because Jaina was in it, but it's just like, that was the ending. You can still put that, but put that before the Ben stuff and then leave off with the Ben stuff, it would have been so much better. Now, even despite that, I don't think the Mandalorians were shoehorned in. And this is kind of getting into some theories that I have personally of, at least when I read the book, of why in Legacy of the Force Invincible they decided it had to be Jaina to stop Jacen. And the reason being is you see Jacen throughout the series fight. He fights a lot of people. He fights Ben once. He fights Luke a few times, and he fights. Of course, he fights Mara and he wins, but he only really wins against Mara by cheating, by using her. By basically what he does is right before she delivers the killing blow, he uses a Force illusion to make himself look like Ben, so she hesitates just long enough to hit her with the poison dart. He beats Saba, but only because some YVH droids basically flanked her. He also fights Kyle Katarn, and although he takes out the two apprentices that are accompanying Kyle Katarn actually disarms him and has him on the blade of a lightsaber before a speeder knocks him over and basically throws it into Caius' favor. And each time he fights Luke, because he fights him a few times, there's always some other thing that's distracting Luke. Either he's trying to keep Ben from falling to the dark side, or there's something that happens. And either way, it always ends up with a draw, with one of them basically leaving. And the reason that they kind of explicitly said in the Mandalorian storyline, at least with Jaina and I think everyone else, is no one else can take on Jacen because he is a tank of a powerhouse. He is, you can't hurt him. You can't make him give up. He is just going to keep coming. Pain is not an object. You can't wound him. You can't emotionally wound him. You can't physically wound him. The only way to stop him is to kill him. And every other person in the Jedi Order had some sort of mental block that would keep them from going that one extra step, that one step of actually finishing the job, not beating him down until he gives up, because he's not going to do that, not wounding him so badly that he's going to stop fighting because he'll just keep fighting no matter what. No one had that thing. And when you look at the Mandalorian training, what the Mandalorians actually taught Jaina wasn't any fighting. What they taught her was how to get into a mindset where you otherize the person you're fighting. They are not even a person. They are just a thing that exists that you need to make not alive anymore. And you are going to stop at nothing to make that happen. And that's really what the training was. The training was to get Jaina to think like that, to get into that combat stance of, I'm not stopping till you're dead. I don't care who you are. And in that final fight between the two of them, you actually see twice where Jacen just stops fighting and does something that any other Jedi would have stopped fighting at that moment. The first, when he's pleading that he's trying to save Tenel Ka, and Jaina basically says, "So die already." And the last moment where he just stops fighting to give out a Force warning. He literally drops his lightsaber and just stops fighting. He's wide open, essentially unarmed. Any other Jedi would have stopped in their tracks right there and try to knock him out or something. But no, because Jaina had that training to, I'm just going to make you not be alive anymore, she followed through and got the job done. And that's why the Mandalorian storyline, at least in my opinion, was warranted. And why Jaina was, again, the one to stop Caius. Because she had basically trained herself to not have that mental block that every other Jedi throughout the series had that stopped them from beating Caius. So, yes and no. That's my long rant on that. Okay, Cool to See by Cole77. Did I get dropped?
No. Okay. No. Matt, Yubnub is, of course, my favorite Ewok. Did your friends someone asked Matt a question in here? Of course. If Lucasfilm approved one EU book this year, what would you want it to focus on? I'm still in the Fallout of Dynasty of Evil, so I'd want a Darth Zana book. Cool scene in the EU. That final battle in Dynasty of Evil. Oh my god. Can I just spoil that in here? Dylan?
Sure. I just spoiled Legacy of the Force, so
Okay, so in the Darth Bane trilogy, every climax, in my opinion, got better. In the first one, of course, the thought bomb happens. That's common knowledge. Um, then in Rule of Two, Bane and Xana take on is it like 4 Jedi Masters and a Padawan, and it's a really awesome fight to the death, and that was really cool. But in Dynasty of Evil, uh Xana and Bane finally go at it, and they have 2 fights. In the one fight, Bane's unarmed because he got captured, and he's fending off Xana with just force lightning. And then it ends up a draw, and they both escape this buildings falling down. Then they meet up on Ambria and they go at it. And the way that Sith sorcery was used in that fight was so freaky. Like, just the amount of things that Xana conjures up were just like, I didn't think of the Force that way until then. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, I know it is. This is obvious.
Mhm.
The greatest, the greatest moment in all of the EU, in my opinion, Ganner Ryshode's last stand. I mean,
Okay.
literally, the dude took out 5,000 Yuzhan Vong warriors in single combat. He killed so many of them that he actually won the fight. If you don't know this, what he killed every single warrior they had, and the priests who were there had some artillery pieces, and instead of shooting at him because they didn't want to damage the world plane, they shot the pillars around him so that they collapsed on top of him, and the rubble killed him, and the falling debris killed him. After killing again 5,000 Yuzhan Vong warriors, you literally look at the Battle of the World Brain, and it's just like combatants, like it's leaders and Jason because he was there, and Ganner. Combatants: Ganner Rysode 5,000 Yuzhan Vong warriors. Casualties: Ganner Rysode almost all the Yuzhan Vong warriors. It's like he killed 5,000. It was at the point where there was a mountain of bodies that he was standing on top of, and the Yuzhan Vong trying to get to him had to climb on top of the mountain of bodies that he was standing on that he had just killed.
Moment in the EU that made you laugh out loud. Any Zane Griff antics
gosh.
from the early KOTOR stuff, that was pretty funny.
Oh, I used to have had one for this. Oh, okay, here it is. So this is from the Legacy comic books. And I forget where it exactly is, but essentially Force Ghost, Luke, and Cade Skywalker are having an argument, and it goes on for 2 or 3 panels. And eventually, Cade gets so mad at Luke that he stands up, turns around, and starts yelling at him, pointing his finger. And then the next panel, and like in the panel, you see like Cade, like ... And the next panel is from Jiraiya Sin's point of view, and he's just looking at Cade, standing up, pointing his finger, and yelling at nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not crazy.
I forgot that happened.
Cade just goes, I'm not crazy. That was so funny to me.
Moment that made you cry: Chewbacca's death. Vector Prime.
Ton Fannon's death.
Most of New Jedi Order.
I didn't cry for any of the New Jedi Order deaths because I knew they were all coming. But Ton Fannon's death, because oh my gosh, for a character that was only in a book and a half, that was sad.
Let's see. Moment that made you mad. Oh, I have the perfect one. It happens in Republic Commando 000 when Ettain's like, I'm pregnant. That was irritating. There's a lot of 000 that was.
I honestly thought you were going to say when I read the first line of Aftermath.
That I EU.
Okay.
There's not new canon. Also made me mad was what was it? Rebel Girl was the 3rd story arc in the Brian Wood Star Wars run, where that just completely ripped off Courtship of Princess Leia.
I don't think there was a moment that made me Meh. Well, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but again, Legacy of the Force, anytime it's a tie. It's between Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi. Anytime Darth Kaitis or Dala did anything ever, it was just like, God damn it, you piece of shit. I hate everything you're doing. I hate you so much.
Okay. What was the senator who was the Bothan?
Oh, who actually had a noble death?
Oh yeah, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. Well, everything he did drove me nuts in like the Bantam stuff and into like what was his name?
Boris Phalia?
Oh yeah. Fucking couldn't stand him.
There's a scene, if you ever get to Mercy Kill, which is like the second to last book, but there's a scene where Piggy is talking to, I forget who it is. I think it's Mary and Antilles, youngest Wedge's younger daughter, or someone else from that generation. And she is talking about how like, oh, Boris, because there's a naval base that gets named after Boris Phalia, and she's talking about how great he was for sacrificing himself, and Piggy having actually been alive when Boris Phalia was around in like the early New Republic days and knows what he's capable of. Is like, no, that guy, like, kind of telling her off, like, listen, sweetie, you have no idea who you're talking about. Let me tell you about how bad he was. And it was a great like the two generations, the generations who grew up reading about how great he was and the generations that actually had to live through him. This is like, listen, let me tell you something about Boris Phalia. Look, he had a nice death and all, but all the shit he did before that,
He's a giant asshole. God. All right. Do we want to call it there?
there's still questions.
We can answer them next podcast.
No, we don't, because they're gonna go away.
Are
We've
they
been only
really?
been going, yeah. The questions in the chat are gonna go away. We've only been going for an hour. Usually, there's at least 90 minutes.
I know, but I've been filming for like a previous hour beforehand. Okay, let's get some. Is there anything else?
Well, there's one from the last podcast. I'll go. How long do you have to wait till Mr. Sadler makes a vid on his personal channel? I don't know. He's dropped off the face of the planet.
You are Mr. Sadler. What are you
I'm not
talking
Mr. Sadler. I'm not.
John Sadler.
Does this look like red hair to you?
I don't know. That looks like a toupee, but you know.
Anyway, if the Rogue Squadron team, Wes, Jansen, Tycho, and Wedge, Wes, Hobby, Tycho, and Wedge fought the Star Fox team, Fox, Slippy, Perry, and Falco, who would win?
Oh yeah, that's right. No, they would come to a draw and work together.
Right.
They would.
I think Wedge would win, because I mean the amount of Wedge's team would win because the amount of plot armor that man has.
It's ridiculous. For a bunch of people that suck in ground fighting, they seem to do okay most of the time. Okay, here we go. Jeremy, would you like to steal Brian's Queen's Gambit game or hook Dylan up on a date? Well, you can't hook Dylan up on the date. He has the charisma of a brick wall.
It's literally impossible.
It is impossible. I've given up.
So what happens for those of you who don't know is, when you're born, you roll your stats like D&D, but you actually have to declare them. So when I word my charisma stats, you know how you're usually supposed to roll? You're supposed to roll 4d6 and you take down the lowest one. And you know how the lowest number on a d6 is 1. Well, my dice messed up, and my lowest number was 0. So I just got 4 zeros. So it's like, I guess you have a charisma score of 0, which I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
so it's a dumb stat anyway.
We would come up with an Ocean's 11's plot on stealing Brian's copy of Queen's Gambit.
What author do you meet? Do you want to meet? One author would you want to kick in the balls? I would love to meet, even though he's not with us anymore. I would have loved to have met Aaron Alston. Favorite author. Authors I'd kick in the balls. All of my least favorite authors don't have balls.
Okay, see, I don't get anything from kicking someone in the junk. I'd fight him. I mean, I go toe to toe with fuck, Chuck Wendig, but that's beside the point, you know. But
Not even
I wouldn't
arthritis could
fight
stop
Chuck
Wed from kicking
Wendig.
butt.
I wouldn't do that. No, someone I'd like to meet, Zahn or Drew Karpyshyn or James Lucino. They're all on par with one another. Oh god, do we?
I actually think that's the end of the questions.
Oh yeah, Karen Travis is not team player is nowhere in her job description, in her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she gets work sometimes because of how much of an a-hole she is to people.
Well, she doesn't get work with Lucasfilm anymore.
Well, no, but she still does a lot of what does she do? Like the Gears of War stuff? Halo?
Yeah, well, I will say Dark Synovia that in this in the second author slot for the 9 book series, Christy Golden did a much better job in that 2 slot than Karen Travis did. Which, I mean, you're writing in between Aaron Alston and Troy Denning. That's like trying to hit back cleanup for like 2 Hall of Famers. You know, how are you gonna top that? But she actually did, in my opinion, a better job in Fate of the Jedi with her books than Karen Travis did overall. I just think that the way they wrote the story, Karen Travis's use of the Mandalorians eventually did pay off in that they essentially taught Jaina how to beat Kaitis, but not the way you think, not the way you'd think they would. But
well, I think that when you write Star Wars and you're writing something for the main plot line, the post-Jedi plot line, you should have a respect for like a certain group of characters. And I think that from what I've read of the Karen Travis stuff from Legacy of the Force, she didn't really like Jedi. And it's really reflected in her work. It's the same in the Republic Commando series, that she just didn't like Jedi.
Matt, why are you calling me? Jeremy, where's the link to this thing? Can I just send it to Matt?
It's in the Facebook chat. Just take it out of there.
This is going to be a Matt chat.
God, the things I do when I'm fucking bored. Watch Matt's. No, I won't say. We're gonna send it to Matt. Matt's gonna probably be pissed.
Matt, I'm putting the link in Skype because you keep calling me.
Is he calling you on Skype? He's not calling
No, he's
me.
calling me on my actual phone. Like, he's actually legitimately calling my phone.
Oh, he's probably called mine too, but my phone's charging.
This is how you get on the podcast, folks. Just get our phone number somehow and call us, I guess.
Well, actually, we do send invites out, and then people just don't respond, and then suddenly they're active once we're on.
Yeah, I know you're trying to call into the show, Matt. That's why I gave you the Criffing link on Skype. Just click the link. We went over this. It's probably going to be a whole 2 hours where Matt, like the typical grandfather he is, can't figure out how technology works.
God, if you want to see some classic Matt moments, try to explain to him how to use something with technology.
Oh my gosh, it's like literally like, okay, grandma, okay, I need you to click start. Okay, start. It's the one at the bottom, the green one. Okay, good. Now click control panel. Control panel. Control panel. It's like the 3rd or 4th one up. Wait, what do you mean it went away? Wait, did you click start again? You're not supposed to click. Okay.
No,
click start a 3rd time. No. It's okay to click it a 3rd time. Click it now. Click control panel.
It's more like you need to hit the talk button and then dial the phone number.
Some TSF for Legends Movement Letterman jackets and flights.
When you want to hang up the phone, you hit the off button. No.
I just realized there's probably some Mac users that didn't get anything of what I just said.
Yeah, that's probably all.
Notice how he's still trying to get in. Is it talking again? How untech savvy he is. Here's the funny thing was, he is so untech savvy. Yet he used to work for DirecTV as tech support. It's so the jokes literally write themselves. Your grandfather has this thing.
Yeah, you like my landline?
Who uses landlines anymore?
My parents do.
Exactly.
I just have one down here in case no one answers the phone.
Yeah. Matt is actually from the Mesozoic era.
My God.
I guess Matt's not joining us.
Is that all we have for tonight?
I don't know. We ran out of questions.
Yeah. This was fun.
Yeah. It's actually great that we have a chat now that we can talk to you guys instead of just riffing about nothing.
Hey, there you go, Matt. Get those dark side powers going.
Wait, what's Matt doing now?
He says, I hate you both.
Hey, Matt. Is it
Matt,
good?
this is what happens when you talk shit about me
It's
instead of calling me when I try to get a hold of you.
Matt, is it good to read when you're angry at someone?
Twistin.
For those who don't get the joke,
Call the infamous call where people entered in and Tristan and Edward had been asleep.
oh man, we are getting to some old school Star Wars reviewers from like 3 or 4 years ago.
You obviously haven't heard of Chile. That's where to get my flag for being a bully.
We can't go a podcast without making fun of it.
The next Legends podcast proposes this year.
Thoughts
I
on
hope.
who should do a Ruined or Desolate novel? If it's anyone Sith, I think either Drew Karpyshyn or well, Steve does good Sith. One of those.
Dylan, let's get
Yeah.
some Tristan moves here. Do you
Wait.
remember? Were you in the call when my sister and I were hanging out down here, and Tristan took his shirt off and started flexing?
Wait, hold on.
at
Let me do it. Let me do a Django Fett impersonation. Get it? Because he just disappears on live streams. remember the Crossroads the Omniverse one where he gave up 5 minutes into it?
God, the hours. On that.
The 2 hour of that podcast.
Oh no! God, I'm trying to.
So
think.
if you don't get any of the jokes, go to Django Fett D Django Fett's channel. He has some old Star Wars reviewers. It's from our Facebook group that we're all in, Star Wars Reviewers Google Hangouts. I think there's 8 or 9 of them. These are all jokes from like back when we used to do them. That was, oh my gosh, that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Remember Minox Nest 19 and 19 and a half?
We don't talk about Minox Nest 19 and
Where
19 and a
King
half.
Said that he hid the camera for Malaysia Airlines in his ass. That's something that was said when Malaysia Airlines was a serious problem.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. What does that even mean?
Oh, yeah. If you're watching Minox Nest, don't watch 19 and 19 and a half. They are not. We weren't even on there. And
I
it
was
like-
on there. I edited it.
Oh, that's right. You were on there. Was it? It was
on
you.
there.
It was you, Tristan. Tim was the real John Sadler on there.
Yeah, you were on there. That's
No,
right.
I wasn't. The other
You
John
were
Sadler.
on there. You were acting kind of different though.
No, I'm not a ginger. I miss Minox Nest, especially that guy's Joker impression. Oh, Oh shoot, Daniel.
Daniel,
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I never
The way
called
he
him
the way he goes. Welcome to the Minox Nest podcast. Joker here with I can't do it, but
I'm gonna fucking take a shit on you if you ever do that again. I'm embarrassed for you.
it was my best impression. And then he
That
goes,
was terrible.
Ewok, and Master goes, "Yarp, yarp."
That was awful too, Dylan.
Look,
Stop.
I can do one impression and one impression only, and it's not going to work because there's cameras on me.
I just
Remember
remember. I
the-
also remember from 19 it was Tim's like you put the dicks on the Legos, right? That was another one.
Remember the Mickey Mouse interview
God, yeah.
where we lost it? like
I
20
lost it for like 6 months. I lost this whole episode of Minox that's just vanished on my hard drive.
No, it's out there, isn't it? I thought it was out
Oh
there.
yeah, I released it, but it took months to find
Oh
it.
yeah. No,
That was my
I more
ass.
meant like how midway through the interview we all lost it. We couldn't keep it together. You were muted the whole time because you couldn't stop laughing, and it was just Matt and I going back and forth until finally we couldn't take it either. It just cuts out, and we go like, "Oh, something happened. I don't know what happened." What do you guys think
of
about the-
Thrawn duology? It's the only other Bantam books that are unabridged.
hmm I think
And
I
they kinda
listened.
tie everything together.
So the audiobook for Vision of the Future is 24 hours long, and I want to say I finished it in 36 hours. I listened to the whole thing pretty much nonstop, got about halfway through, went to bed, and listened to the rest of it in one sitting.
I did a whole bunch of yard work and listened to Death Troopers, but that's only 8 hours and only 8-hour audiobook.
Captain Gonzo and the Love Commander. Yep, Jedi Acolyte knows what's up. Video call from Matt
boy.
Matt Wilkins, it's not how it works. You need to click the link.
All right. I'm calling it here. We're going to go on Skype and laugh at Matt.
Fine. All right.
Sorry.
Those of you who have Skype, you know,
Join us.
is there a way that
Add-
we can get in contact with us to join the Skype?
And well, here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a comment. Oh no. When this stream ends, I'm going to comment my Skype name and you can just add me.
And then message and we'll add you to the call. It'll be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so
be
anyway. Oh,
blackjack.
son of a bitch. Never mind. Get the fuck out of here. Get out.
You're both a-holes.
Oh, I'm the one to talk shit on Princes of the Universe about me. Don't you start this. I guess this podcast is fucking over. Not over.
Hi, bye, folks. Bye.
But
Welcome to coming to another Legends podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you. We've had fun. It's been fun. Hey, join us next year when we do another one of these. We'll wake up Jeremy before bedtime at 8.
I'm sorry. We wake
And
up
then-
Jeremy.
And we're going to do it live at Dylan's girlfriend's apartment. I'm sorry, John Sadler, whatever his name is today.
Yeah.
What's he going by on your podcast today, Jeremy?
I've called them both. Don't worry.
I am not John Sadler. For the last time, the real John Sadler is Ginger and he disappeared.
Still, we all
mysteriously.
know that's a toupee. Was that fucking Pib? Oh man, that's like the nail in the coffin of just betrayal. Actually, if it
I
was
thought
Pepsi,
I thought
I'd
you didn't drink soda.
get up
Are you
and
lying
leave.
to me, Matt.
It's way too late to drink soda, but I'm about to do a Princess of the Universe podcast. So
Are we?
I've
Is
decided
this
to.
what we're doing?
no, they're not doing. No, I'm sorry, Bruce is coming over.
I was like, what the? Why are we doing a Princess of the Universe while on the Legends podcast?
What's going on, internet?
The internet's an absolute nightmare.
So Matt, did you enjoy us?
How many
linking-
viewers did you just lose?
We still have them.
Oh, you lost too. Matt Wilkins is on here. Screw this.
Let's
Click.
get Dak and nice red-haired woman.
When's
We all know
your
Lowell.
first thumbs down? You can get that too.
We
I
have-
don't know. It'll either be Edward or the Tashi Station. We've made fun of both of them.
No, it's not Tashi Station. It's Darth Lego because he blocks.
Darth
Okay, that's
Lego.
true.
Darth Lego. Darth Lego. I
And
heard
Darth Grocer.
some disturbing things about Troy Denning today.
Let's talk about it right now.
Let's talk about Troy Denning. My favorite authors don't seem to be the nicest of people. I've already talked about, there's a story with Kevin J. Anderson I have where these kids, I'm going to mention this on the podcast, but these no, not kids, these adults went up to Kevin and sorry, that's what happens when you drink Pib live on the
Jesus.
YouTubes. Are we on the YouTubes? Are we on the Google Hangouts?
We are on
It's
the.
what-
We are on
It's
both.
all the same, Matt.
What button turns my volume up? What volume? Where's the volume button? Where's my control
use your
panel?
fucking computer volume.
Okay, anyway.
It's not difficult.
Do you see what we
Anyway.
have to go through, chat? Do you see
So
what we
this
have to
might
go
blood
through?
Hush it. Hush it. I'm
Oh.
speaking now.
Is it good to
Okay.
read?
So, do you want me to do it?
You do it the best.
Okay.
Dude, you need to get a hoodie on, though.
Hold on. I know how I'm doing this podcast now.
Welcome to the tangent section of the podcast.
Yeah.
Still waiting for Matt to meet up with
Sometimes
Brian for a
I
nice
love to
conversation.
weed. Wow. It makes me angry. Tiger angry. Ah!
I fucking quit. I'm fucking.
That was it, wasn't it?
I can't do this anymore. I can't.
This podcast went off the walls.
So what you just saw,
Anyway.
chat, was Jeremy's ability to even being impaired.
Can I wear my
The
special
final
hat?
Podcast.
You cannot wear your special hat.
This is what happened. This is my breaking
All right,
point.
anyway.
This is what I need my
Anyway,
blood pressure
so I saw we're supposed to be talking about legend stuff here. Come on, stay on target. Stay on target.
Don't you do this.
Anyway, so it puts the lotion on its body and it rubs my tummy. And sometimes it makes me feel good. Like when Twiston takes his shirt off in front of Jeremy's sister and does this.
Here, I'll give you some.
Oh wait!
sound
Here.
effects.
Hold on. I'll do Tristan.
This is just inside joke the podcast. The lights are off and everything.
You gotta get some.
Welcome to Legends.
Why did you send me that?
Welcome to the Legends Podcast 22, where we make fun of our friends.
I turned the lights on. This is creepy and depressing.
I think we should rename this podcast "Waru Flow Walk with Me" instead of "Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me."
All right. So anyway, Kevin, let's get back to legends. Can we talk about legends, please?
Sure.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, let's talk about some fucking legends.
Let's talk about some blankety blank legends. All right. Still waiting for Matt to meet up with Brian for a nice conversation. Brian, which Brian? Jedi
BTS?
Acolyte. Which
BTS
Brian?
or the god of the EU himself.
I know a few Brians. Nightwing, I don't know. I don't know what is going. What's going on is Matt is having caffeine after dark. That's a dangerous thing.
This is literally what happens every single time when we get mad on
Here's
one
the
of
thing:
these.
I don't even drink alcohol. That's how dangerous
Where's
I could be. You know. It's like, okay.
making me drink?
Uh-oh, he's gonna get. Jeremy's gonna get drunk again.
Oh,
He's-
that Brian? Unfortunately, I won't be talking to that Brian. I guess. Brian from Twin Sons. I'll be seeing him later on this month. and I'll be taking his Queen's Gambit.
We need to
You
set up
have
an 11
a copy
plot in
Queen's
order to
Gambit
get this.
already.
Jedi Acolyte, I would. I got you. That Brian, you know what? I'd love to talk to the dude. I seriously would. Everyone thinks, oh, Matt, what would you do if you saw Dave Filoni? I'd shake his hand. We'd probably laugh. He's never seen my videos. What would I do if I saw Chuck Wendig? Well, these two guys know what I wanted to do. I wanted to dress up in my Chuck Wendig outfit and see if he'd take a picture with me.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was serious. I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it. I was like, hey, I'm the guy that you did that video. Oh, rat says Bruce. Hold on. You get to see Bruce live in a minute.
Oh my god. The thing I've been wanting to have happen for like a long time is finally coming to fruition.
We're gonna have Bruce. This is gonna be. I think this is Bruce's face reveal. No, wait, he's done he's done the live ones before. Caffeine is a hell of a drug. Why do you think I don't do any of that stuff?
Anyway,
My family history is riddled with addicts. I'm not playing with fire.
hey, real quick, everyone. This is Bruce from Prince of the Universe.
Oh shit, Bruce.
He can't hear you. I've got the
Oh,
mic.
yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
but
you got
your
your
earphones are really
fucking-
loud.
You have to be loud. What?
Hey, how's
No,
it
what?
going?
Put Bruce on, Matt. Get out of here.
Right, my show now.
Hey, Bruce.
How's it going?
Good. I've only wanted to have you on for about 20 episodes. So
Well, you know what? Matt has
Finally
not told me
happened.
this.
Well, you're
We have
such
this
a
connection
liar.
between us and nobody actually communicating.
yeah, no. So I have to explain. So I met Bruce because of some drama on Facebook with a certain someone that I've been making fun of on this podcast. Like messaged Bruce saying that I was an asshole.
yeah, I remember.
And they were right.
They are 100% true. I am a
Well, you know, when somebody messages you, you know, and to tell you that, hey, there's a problem, and you can tell from the get-go, you're the problem, I'm going to be okay and just pass the message along, but obviously, yeah.
By the way, your life on YouTube.
Oh, hey, no names. I'm talking to you, Samantha Mitchell. Yes, that was
He looks nothing like I expected. Yeah, yeah, Nightwing.
What were you expecting, Dylan?
no.
No, that was Nightwing who said that.
God. Oh,
So
was ex-
anyway,
I
we've
think
got to
everyone
go
was-
do our podcast. So, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Legends podcast. If you want to get to a real podcast that gets down to the facts, come to the Prince of the Universe podcast. We do it every other week. These guys do it every other year. That's the difference between us.
You know, but at least we have two people who contribute to the conversation, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
ooh, that's some shade.
That's true. That's true. I believe we've been insulted, Bruce.
No, just you.
Now it's like a podcast war. Now they're going to throw shade on us. We're going to. That's what this. We're changing the title of this podcast.
Fire back.
Trash the Legends podcast. Bunch
All
of
right.
noobs.
Time to rename anyway.
All right. We'll see you all next time.
Next time on Princes of the Universe. We